Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Nadia Holtz from sportsbookreview.com. With us today is SBR consultant Matt Jordan, who's here to share some insight on how Scandrick's suspension affects the betting odds. So Matt, just how bad was the Dallas defense last year, even though Scandrick was a bright spot?
It was the worst in the NFL. It was actually the worst in team history, allowing 415.3 yards, which is almost 20 yards more per game. That was, again, the most the Cowboys have ever given up. They were bad against the run. They were worse against the pass. 4 quarterbacks threw for at least 400 yards against him. It was just, it was a mess. And the sad thing is Scandrick, played pretty well. He was about the only one.
And did we learn anything from preseason opener?
Well, he didn't play. They knew this suspension was coming. It's for taking ecstasy, apparently. He just didn't play that one. Most starters don't play in the beginning one. But it wasn't a good thing, the preseason opener. They gave up 395 yards to the Chargers. You could say, well, that was mostly second-team Dallas guys, but it was also mostly second-team Chargers offensive guys. Their San Diego quarterbacks were 14 of 16 against the Cowboys, and they didn't have an incompletion until the fourth quarter. So, so clearly even the Dallas second-teamers stink.
What are the 4 games he will be missing, and how does it affect Dallas?
The opener he'll miss against San Francisco. That line has jumped. It opened around 3.5. It's now 5.5. Not necessarily just because of this, but this certainly didn't help it. They probably weren't going to win that game regardless, but the Niners aren't a super big passing team, but they have a good number 1 receiver in Michael Crabtree and a good number 2 in Anquan Bolden, so it won't help. Week 2, they're at Tennessee, probably be a slight dog there. Tennessee's got one really good receiver, Kendall Wright. They weren't a great passing team last year, so it's okay there. Week 3 at St. Louis, the Rams do not have any good receivers. That'll probably be the game they'll miss them the least. The Rams will just throw a bunch of short passes and try to run the ball. And then week 4, they host New Orleans, where they could be 0-4, and Jason Garrett's job might be in jeopardy if they lose. And last year, the Saints just had 620 yards of offense against the Cowboys, and Scandrick played that game. So just think what it'll be without him. So they're going to miss him the most in that one because the Saints are going to pass all day on him.
Okay, there you have it. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap, guys. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And until next time, for sportsbookreview.com, I'm your host, Nadia Holtz.